Okay, today we'll be having our friendly class debate. The topic of our debate is banning of cell phones during class hours. May I call on the chairman of this debate, Dean La Cuesta, for the activity.
To our ever good-looking and gorgeous teacher, Ma'am Maribel Torreña, to our research advisor, Mr. Harold Albior, to our ICT teacher, Mr. Richard Panes, to my classmates, good morning. So, we are now on the 21st century, and we cannot deny the fact that all of us are engaged in technology. And using of gadgets, especially our cell phone, it slowly affects our lives. In some way, it turns us to be dependent on that medium. And now, I shall start to you the debate, 2016 debate. And our proposition for this morning is banning of cell phones during class hours. The mechanics. I am requesting everyone to please keep silence while the debate is going on. The debate is composed of two teams and each side, the affirmative and negative, must have 6 members. The first speaker will introduce to us their stand and he or she will be given 2 to 3 minutes. The last speaker of each team will have 5 to 7 minutes to give the overall generalization for their stand. The other 4 speakers will be having 2 minutes for their speech. Each team will be allowed to give only 5 to 7 questions to be asked on the other side. Questions will be entertained after the 5 speakers before the generalization and will be answered for only 2 minutes. You will be allowed to give follow-up questions and you may ask to any member of the other side except for the last speaker. So the order will be first speaker of the affirmative side versus the first speaker of the negative side and the second speaker of the affirmative side versus the second speaker of the negative side versus the third speakers of both sides, fourth speakers of both sides, fifth speakers of both sides. And the questions will go on and the last speakers of both sides. So to determine the winning team, the following are the criteria for judging. Evidence 25%, delivery 30%, interpellation 30%, and rebuttal 15%, a total of 100%. So let's now welcome our judges for this debate. Our first judge from our science department, our ever good-looking research advisor, Mr. Harold Albior. Our second judge, still from science department, our ever gorgeous science teacher, Mrs. Maribel M. Torreña. I shall now present to you the members of each side. For the affirmative side, first speaker, Hamrudin Sapalon. Second speaker, Hapsi Plaqueña. Third speaker, Trisha Baiton. Fourth speaker, Jayloy Tabilin. Fifth speaker, Kay Jubilin. And our last speaker is Kayan Gardose. For the negative side, we have first speaker, Ralph Ramos. Second speaker, Bethany Santillan. Our third speaker, Wendelin Enero. Our fourth speaker, Kenneth Boveldalaya. Fifth speaker, Davy Rose Quiles. And our last speaker, Aisha Mama. So, are you now ready? Are you now ready?
Yes!
Let the battle begin.
A pleasant day to everyone, especially to our dear educators and spectators. We are here regarding the motion, banning of cell phones during class hours. As the first speaker of the affirmative side, I will define the motion, discuss the parameters, and the members of the group will give the statements of facts, confirmation, rebuttals, strengthen and summarize the arguments. So students survive for hundreds of years without cell phones. It is a question that keeps the parents awake from night. Should their children be allowed to use mobile phones in their schools? Economists claim to have an answer. For parents who want their children to boost their academic prospects, it is no. This is an ongoing debate in many countries. Some advocate for a complete ban, while others promote the use of mobile phones as a teaching tool in the classrooms, such as they can be used for alternative or for boring lectures. They serve as notepads or alarm for the students to remind their studies, and they can be a source of information. However, none of these supposed advantages can overcome a very basic disadvantage. Cell phones distract students from schools and classroom activities. The philosophy of pen and ball pen, the philosophy of blackboards and chalk can work fine for students. What's clear either ways that students must be taught to listen. Teaching is a human experience. Technology is instruction when we need literacy, numeracy, and critical thinking. Health effects aside, it is well known that the texting class has become a growing epidemic. When students are allowed to have their phones with them in class, many will take this as an opportunity to use them, and this leads to disruptions in class, bullying, and even cyberbullying. And of course, cheating on tests. There are also been some discussions on whether testing affects spelling and writing in the classroom setting. In a survey conducted, 54% of people found that texting was having an effect on the writing habits of young people. In line with this, considering all the reasons, I strongly stand that banning cell phones is in the best interest of everyone. It will help students' grades, separate them from the negative effects for lots of hours, and it helps the school to keep students in an emergency, and even prevent bomb threats. Like what happened nowadays that we receive a lot of threats coming from outsiders that we didn't know. So in the end of this debate, I'm expecting the opposing side to answer this. What would you rather go a week without? Your cell phone or a book?
The banning of cell phones during class hours. Why? Why? Why should we? Why should we not ban the cell phones during class hours? As technology progresses, it has given birth to many innovations such as cell phones. Cell phones. Cell phones. We use cell phones every day, and it has many advantages, and sadly there are many disadvantages. But as Mr. Sabalan pointed out, that it is a distraction. No, we believe that a cell phone is not a distraction, but a learning tool. How? How do we? How can a cell phone be a learning tool? A cell phone can be a learning tool in a cell phone can be a learning tool or a learning aid by it can by students who have a smartphone can use various applications that are designed to help students in learning. For example, at Melrose High School, science students use a physics app to collect acceleration data and measure sound intensity. And English students in that particular high school discuss literature with their smartphones. In addition, according to a research study from the University of Calgary, people who play applications such as Words with Friends and Scrabble tend to have better word recognition skills than those who aren't players. Therefore, we can say that a smartphone is a learning. Therefore, we can say that it truly is a learning aid, and I believe that using smartphones in class hours is a catalyst that will improve our educational system nowadays. Thank you, and thank you very much.
Support to our speaker number one. There are a lot of disadvantages in the usage of cell phones during class hours. The first reason why students should not use cell phones during class hours is distraction. During classes, students who brought their phones at school can be more distracted. Why? Because they say that we are the 21st century learners. So we are committed in the usage of social media accounts such as Twitter, IG, Facebook, and other social media accounts. Moreover, we are also engaged in playing social games or online games. This is why we should not use our phones and we should not use our phone during class hours because we are tempted to check our phones from time to time. Secondly, interruption will also occur because the buzzing, beeping, and the ringing of our phones can interrupt the whole class. That's all.
So, good morning everyone. According to Republic Act number 10639, an act mandating the telecommunications service providers to send free mobile alerts in the event of natural and man-made disaster and calamities, Section number 2 Declaration of Policy. The state shall at all times protect its citizenry in the event of natural or man-made disasters and calamities. It shall likewise exhaust all possible means to notify and inform its constituents of the impending disasters to prevent injuries, destruction, and loss of lives and property. New York City, the largest school district in USA, March 2015, lifted its 8-year cell phone ban because it was important for parents to be able to easily contact their kids. Liz Gold, an assistant professor at the University of Michigan School of Education and author of Toys to Tools, Connecting Students' Cell Phones to Education, says it's already happening. According to Gold, 70% of schools that had cell phone bans in place 5 years ago are reversing their policies. Cell phones keep you safe. Believe it or not, cell phones could save your life. On April 20, 1999, two teenagers walked into Columbine High School carrying submachine guns and homemade bombs intending to do some major damage. 13 innocent students were murdered, and many more would have been if it weren't for some students and their cell phones. One student, hiding for his life, called 911 and described the location of the school and what the murders looked like. If it weren't for him and his cell phone and many other students would have died. There are many other true stories like this one where people's lives were saved because of cell phones. I know cell phones become a big problem if you don't control their usage in school, because students can use them for entertainment and social networking purposes during classroom hours, and this can affect the concentration and grades while in the classroom. But we cannot use this as an excuse to ban cell phones in school.
Cell phones can be used in many ways, not only as an advantage, but also as a disadvantage. Many students tend to use their cell phones during class hours, especially during their tests or quizzes, to cheat. Some of them even think that even they will not study a night before an exam, they can use cell phones, particularly if their teachers are not paying attention to their students very well. Cell phones make it very easy for the students to cheat. The cell phones make it easy for the students to share answers, take photos of quizzes, or look up answers online during their tests. Some may take pictures of their notes to use them as a reference. A study shows that a vast increase in the academic performance of the students in the countries where using of cell phones is banned. Another disadvantage of cell phones are they are used as a tool for bullying. Students students can take pictures anytime at classrooms during class hours to their victims, not knowing for them. They can also send messages which have insulting texts that may interrupt his or her concentration in studying their lessons or listening to their teachers. These four advantages, including interruptions and distractions, are the facts that can support our idea of banning cell phones in class hours.
Again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I respect your opinion, but I don't agree with you. Another reason why we should not prohibit the use of cell phones in classroom is in terms of communication. Allowing the students to use cell phones during class hours gives parents the ability to contact their children whenever necessary. This is because cell phones provide a convenient and direct way for parents to communicate their children via text messages or calls. This can include during family emergencies or when a student feels ill or is in danger. It is beneficial to be carrying a cell phone so he or she can contact someone immediately to arrange a ride home. Or they can request a forgotten book or project be brought to the school intended for the next subject or classes of the students. In this current world, cell phones are really essential for everyone's life, especially to the students, that it can improve themselves with the help of this technology. So, cell phones should not be banned during class hours, for it is the best solutions for any emergency situations. That's all. Thank you.
Before I will start my statement, let me clarify that this motion is all about banning of cell phones during class hours only. To support our stand, I will give some manifestation. Did you heard about a news realistic fact about disadvantages of using cell phones during class hours? I tell you this, yes, it has. According to the TV Patrol news that was released recently last September 14, 2016, a 15-year-old student killed her teacher. The main cause of this murder case is that the teacher warned the student to not use the cell phone during the class hour. But unfortunately, the students did not listen to the teacher. So, the teacher confiscated the cell phone of the certain student. After the dismissal, when the students and the teacher was alone in the classroom, the student immediately stabbed or killed her teacher because he want to go back. He want to his cell phones go back. One thing more is that, according to our research that we've gathered, we've interviewed and we surveyed 10 parents about or regarding the banning of cell phones during class hours. And 8 out of 10 parents agree that cell phones should be banned during class hours because they know the effect that might happen to their children, as what the first, second, and third speaker decree a while ago. So, to end my statement, I conclude that majority of the parents agree that banning of cell phones should be allowed in order for the students to concentrate more in their studies. That ends my statement. Thank you so much.
Good morning. To J. Lloyd's word, I contradict it because that's why that accident may happen because teacher banned the cell phone during class time. So if teacher didn't ban that cell phone, there's no accident. And for cyberbullying, that was being said ago, cyberbullying, regardless of the location, cyberbullying may happen. Because cyberbullying we need that is the parental guidance. And for cheating, in cheating, the responsible for that is the teacher also and the student. Because if the teacher is observable enough, they will know what students do, so they can minimize the cheating during class hours. So,
Good morning to all of us. In the battle for the hearts and minds of students, the front line for educators has changed for the last couple of decades. Rather than the age-old struggle for access, the foremost concern today is one of attention. So first, I have to clarify the statement of Mr. Dalaya that he said if there wasn't any banning of cell phone that happened, there was no killing. But as I can see, cell phones are corrupting the mind of students to enable them to do such thing of killing. So that's improper for a student, for a minor to kill his or her own teacher. Research has shown that cell phones are powerful research tools, but the essence of learning is not the usage of cell phone. But the ability to get information is not the problem. What students lack is the critical thinking skills to sort, filter and interpret information. Students are good at getting to information, but weak at knowing what to do once they get there. Teachers are vying for students' attention. We come to school in order to learn from our teachers, not the other way around. We don't have, there is clearly a massive difference from the old and the modern world, but there never has been more dynamic learning than face-to-face close proximity with our teacher. To end my statement, we, the affirmative side, strongly agree to ban cell phones during class hours and to give importance of traditional learning. That's all. Thank you.
So, good morning everyone. And once again, we firmly believe that there should be no banning of cell phones inside the class. We should consider cell phone as a compact pocket computer. If we want our students to be ready for their future, they should be knowledgeably ready for the new technology that are present today. So, here I am to state another advantages of having cell phones inside the class. So first, preparing students for the future. First and foremost, the job of the teacher as an educator is to help the students engage in different technologies for their future paths or jobs. So, if the teachers will ban the cell phones, how can the students engage themselves and collect learnings or information using cell phone if they want to ban it? And second, up-to-date learning. Books are published, not books are published, but not as up-to-date. So, if you want our learning to be as wide as we want, we should engage in different technologies such as cell phones. And third, alternative to textbooks. Not all textbooks has the complete information that we need or we want. So in order for us to have a complete and wide information, we should also use cell phones to gather data. And last, learning goes outside the classroom. So if the teachers only teach what they know, we can, as a students, we can acquire knowledge. We can acquire knowledge as what we want. We can acquire knowledge as wide as we want.
Other questions to the other side.
The distraction is the only problem. I said there are a lot of advantages of cell phones that can have. However, it can overcome the very basic disadvantage. So in regards with my question, what would you rather go a week without? Your cell phone or your book, and why?
I would rather go with my cell phone. Why? Because a cell phone is like a tiny library or a mini supercomputer. A book is only contains information that is stated in what it is focused. So if I were to pick, I would pick the most the mo the I will pick the the more I will pick the thing that I would that I would get more information with. That's all. Thank you.
So regarding of your statement that what we will choose to in waking up, if to wake up with either the book or the cell phone, basically because we are now in the modern era, I think books can be integrated in cell phones like PDFs or Wattpads or anything that that can be published online. So technically, book you can wake up with a cell phone where a book is within. Of course, many. Have you, we have listened intentionally to what Mr. Tabilin have said that, and the notion that Mr. Sapalon has given that bomb threats have recently plagued our country. That's the more reason cell phones are to be integrated to our everyday life, especially during class hours. Example, how will you be able to contact the authority if your cell phone are locked in either lockers or in confiscated trucks or anywhere, because this will help us to contact who is the more accessible person, because if we cell phones are to have a considerable distance within the students, then confusion and panic will always appear in our mind. So I think that banning cell phones will of course make our students at risk anytime and anywhere.
That's why we have our teacher, we have our facilitator here in school, so that if the students haven't their cell phones, the parents or the guardians can contact the facilitator or the teacher, so that the whole class will it automatically be informed.
So, question for speaker number 3, Ms. Enero. You said that it is a medium used to contact for the parents to contact their child here in school, right? So why not contact the teacher in addition to his statement? Then you said that it may be a medium for the student to contact their parents at home if they have something left, like books or projects. That is for me, that reason for me shows that the student is responsible enough to, 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 to forget his or her project at home.
I said a while ago, the students may call on their parents for the projects because we all know, as I observed, during it happens during first period that not all the students, but they contact their parents for their projects that left our home, if if they want to get it with themselves, because it it has no time left, because of, for example, in the case of or during flag ceremony. So if they want to get that project, so they want to call is because I said a while ago, cell phones are convenient in the direct way. So no cell phone. And of course, if we all be dependent on the teachers,
It is a fact that not all the time teachers are accessible in our room. So before harm will come its way, we are damaged before we are able to we are able to approach our teacher to help us in contacting our parents. So, we said a while ago that teachers should supervise their students in the use of cell phones, right? So, what if teachers are too busy to give time to their students? Well, I don't think that teachers all the time can accommodate every student. Can accommodate every student. So, what should the students do if the teachers are too busy? If they don't have any communication outside the school?
I think there are a lot of person that we can ask for help. So because we're students, we have to have adult we have to consult an adult if there are any if there is threat or any some sort. But also we have to be responsible as teenagers. We have the knowledge to do what things. We're not saying that we will give all of the give the responsibility to all the teachers, but also we are saying that it is also the responsibility. Each classroom are given advisors, so the advisor should also supervise his students because it's his or her responsibility. So.
Now, here in our school, there are a lot of students in one class, more than 60, 70, 100. How can a teacher, if they are all at once, have the problems at home, so how can a teacher accommodate them all? I don't think that a teacher can accommodate them all at once. More than 10.
We all know that there are a lot of famous scientists before, like Albert Einstein. There are famous mathematicians. There are famous poetic professionals before in the late 18th century, 17th century, 1950s. That become a successful person nowadays, and yet left a legacy to us. Without the use of cell phone. Even though without the use of cell phone, they achieved to become a successful person and become a hero like Jose Rizal for us. So what can you say about that?
Apparently, not all students can meet the mental stability of the scientists that you have mentioned because not all of us are gifted with the intellect of having to discover things or having to dig into deeper facts. So I think you must consider the standards of all generally that not all can be like them. Out of those who didn't use cell phones but then didn't achieve the highest achievements like what they have achieved.
So at this point, let's hear the generalization of the affirmative side. Okay, Andrew.
Okay, start my statement. Let me emphasize to you the advantages of using cell phones in classrooms. It may be used as a dictionaries, as calculators, and as mediums of the student to gather information from the internet. Yet, we cannot assure that the student may stay on the line. Some students may go beyond the limit. Of course, some students are not just using it as PDFs, as a source, like that, but some students are tempted, especially when the lecture gets boring. Maybe they are tempted to play, and and for example, when the cell phone is beeping, you may answer that we have the silent mode. Yet the action made by the student itself can distract his or her seatmate, and that discussion of the two students can distract the attention of the teacher, and that may the teacher think that it is a disrespect that the student may have another business, even he is teaching at the center of this stage. And may I have to tell you that cell phones are not just used as something like source and used at academic purposes. It may also use in cheating, and it is a disadvantage of the student, not just the teacher. Because the student, if we cheat, it is not our advantage. Yet we may learn nothing because of cheating. To end, we should win this debate because the affirmative side clearly strengthened the argument regarding the motion banning of cell phones during class hours. Thank you.
So that there are a lot of famous scientists before, like Albert Einstein. There are famous mathematicians. There are famous professionals, poetic professionals before in the late 18th century, 17th century, 1950s that become a successful person nowadays, and yet left a legacy to us without the use of cell phone. Even though without the use of cell phone, they achieved to become a successful person and become a hero like the result for us. So what?
I would like to congratulate you all for your performances. You did a lot of research in order to show your evidences regarding the topic banning of cell phones during class hours. And we appreciate that one. And you have also give your best on how you raise your question and how you give your answer. But then we will just be declaring the winner based on the criteria that you have been given. So as I read to you the criteria, may I reiterate the criteria? So the evidence is 25%. Okay, all your evidences you have given, you have done your researches, that is 25%. The delivery is 30%. Interpolation is 30%. Interpolation is the art of answering. Tama ba ako? And questioning. And the rebuttal is the art of answering. So the interpolation is 30% and rebuttal is 15%. That's 100%. So I will be announcing now who is the winner for this 2016 debate, having the average of 90%. Okay. And congratulations to the one who agrees to ban the use of cell phone. Thank you very much. Do we need to announce the best speaker?
The best debater.
Okay, the best speaker, I think, may tinitingnan si ma'am. Dito pa rin na side? Dito pa rin na side pa, ma'am? Okay. So, and I congratulate Mr. Sapalon being the best. Thank you, Sir Harold. At this point in time, so I would like to congratulate everybody for a job well done. Also special thanks to our two judges, Ma'am Maribel Torreña, thank you ma'am. Sir Harold Alvior, thank you sir. And the three SPA students who cover this debate. Thank you. So, you give your part, your research much for this debate. So, congratulations for a job well done. So, good day everybody.